Yeah, guys, this is as close as the fire department will let us get to Stony Brook Apartments because they've got trucks coming in and out of the entrance over here. But I want to bring in the public information officer for the Riviera Beach Fire Department. And we were just talking a little bit off camera. You said this originally came in as a fire call.
The original call was dispatched as a structure fire at 1555 MLK, which is Stony Brook Apartments. Once we arrived on scene, we actually found out that it wasn't a structure fire, that we had another type of incident that was going on. We were able to successfully mitigate that incident. While we were working that incident...
I'm sorry, what was that other incident?
The other incident was water and smoke inside of one of the structures. Once we got there, due to the high winds and intensity of the hurricane, parts of the roof started coming off the building. So we immediately evacuated those buildings that were affected by the roof coming off. At this time, we're working with Riviera Beach Police. They brought in their MRAP, which is their heavy-duty SWAT vehicle, and they're going to help us evacuate those who were affected in those apartments.
How many units were affected by the roof coming off?
There were several units that was affected. The exact count, I don't know. Probably in the neighborhood of 10 to 12, if I had to guess.
Okay, and how many families are being affected by this right now?
There were a number of different families in each household. The head count varied. In one household, we had 7 people in one household. So I think we have a total of 35 people right now at this present time that we're going to evacuate with the Riviera Beach Police Department's heavy-duty MRAP.
And I can't imagine what it would be like to try to transport all of those people away from their home right now to another location. Where are they going, and what are you taking in mind as you transfer these people?
At this time, we're contacting the shelter, which is located in Riviera Beach, and we're also contacting Palm Beach Gardens Shelter. We're going to see how many people that those shelters can accept. Once we find out that exact number, we'll split those people up between the 2 shelters and make sure that they're taken to a safe place.
All right, and talk to me a little bit about the conditions and the impact that the conditions are having on your firefighters getting whatever smoke and situation was going on.
It's a very dangerous situation. Right now, the City of Riviera Beach Fire Rescue, we're in active hurricane operations. That means that we're monitoring the weather every hour and an hour. We're looking at the storm, its projected paths. Once the wind speed hits 45 miles an hour, we go into a no response mode. The only time we break that if it's a very serious life and safety issue, such as this, which was a structure fire where you have people who could possibly be trapped inside the building. We're going to take every precaution that we can to be safe, but at the same time, we have to watch our own safety and make sure that we can get those people to a safe place or rescue them if it needs.
Okay, all of those families, how are they doing? Anybody hurt?
No one's hurt right now, as far as I know. We've talked to several individuals we made contact with several individuals that were inside the apartment, and to this particular point right now, no one's been injured.
Okay. Anything else to add that we may not have touched upon?
Well, right now we have an extremely large call volume. That's due to the hurricane. But as I said before, unless it's a life safety issue or there's a structure fire where there's something that people are trapped, that's the only time that we'll deviate from that. Other than that, we have a duty to keep our personnel safe.
Okay, any word on what may have caused? I know you guys are busy trying to get everything situated, but any word on what may have caused that initial call, that report for the fire?
The exact cause has not been determined as of now. Once we arrived on scene, those winds kicked up and the roof started coming off. Our first priority was to ourselves and making sure that we could get those people in a safe location.
And did you guys see any flames when you arrived?
There was no flames when we arrived. However, the battalion chief noted that there was an odor of smoke and a light haze of smoke inside one of the structures.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. And yeah, we'll pan over real quick. We almost hit that wire when we were driving down to come report on this story. Talk to me about these downed lines. People might be trying to be adventurous right now and going out and about. Talk to me about the lines.
Well, the best thing to do right now, if you come in contact, the best thing to do is stay in your house right now. Unless there's something that significantly you have to get out of that house for a life safety issue or something like that, the best thing to do right now is to shelter in place, stay in your house, don't try to venture out. If you see those down power lines, obviously don't come near those power lines. If you have an extreme amount of water in your yard, puddles of water, we advise everyone not to walk through those puddles of water. There may be some kind of energized power line that may be down in that water, could cause great bodily harm and or death.
Thank you so much. Very good advice for everyone to keep in mind.
Yes, sir.
And yes, we've been driving around. That's just a situation that's happening here. It's still, they're going to be busy for a little while longer trying to transport all of those people. But I've got to say, driving from the airport over to here, we're starting to see debris and palm fronds and tree branches in the road. And I got to say, caught us off guard as we were heading to this scene here and seeing that power line just whipping around as we were looking for a parking spot close to the apartment complex. So yes, it goes without saying, be careful if you see any down lines on your block or in your neighborhood. You don't know what's underwater. And you can see an armored vehicle coming out of the Stony Brook Apartments right now. Gonna toss it back to you guys in the studio.